Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another subtopic, Unit 2 Living and Working. So, by the pictures shown to you, do you have any clue that what we are going to study today? Okay, so if you look closely, they are actually policemen. Okay, they're actually policemen, not like how we have our policemen in Malaysia. Okay, they are actually dressed in blue, thick outfits or uniforms, right? So here they are actually during the 18th and 19th century, the policemen are actually wearing very hard, long black or blue coats, okay, and a very tall hat. If you can see in the picture, just one guy is using a very short cap. Okay, he is a general. So when you become a general, okay, you get a small cap, and the others are normal basic policemen. Okay, so let's go even further in this subtopic. So this subtopic title is Were Britain's First Policemen Popular? So we are going to see whether they are popular or not during the 18th and 19th century because that is the first time that they actually created police force. Okay, so let's move on to the topic. Okay, so even before we move on very in detail, so let's go for an overview of what a policeman should be. Okay, so I want you guys to list five qualities. Okay, five qualities. What makes a good policeman? So if you look at a policeman, you generally, okay, automatically you will think, okay, he should have these five qualities. What are the five qualities do you think that a policeman should have? Okay, so I want you guys to write down in a piece of paper or your HG book, activity one, list five qualities, and then put a bracket. In the bracket, write there what makes a good policeman. So you list five qualities of a good policeman, right? Alright, so after listing the five qualities, let's go deeper and see whether the qualities that you mentioned is actually, how do you say, is it relatable or not during the 18th and 19th century? Okay, so with the arrival of railway, you have learned what railways are, the steam engines. Okay, in the previous topic, you learned that in order to move from a rural area to a city or maybe even to a main part of a town, okay, you use the steam engine, which is the railways, okay, and the introduction of national newspaper. So in the early 80s, okay, in the early 18th century, the 18th century, like how we have newspapers today, like Star Online, we have New Straits Times, we have Berita, we have Bernama, okay, and you guys have your own Chinese newspaper, right? What Nanyang Singpao, if I'm not mistaken, okay, that's what I know. All right. So like all this kind of varieties, okay, there are so many publications, newspapers, okay. But during the time, the first one was in the 18th century. Okay. So in the newspaper, this is how do you say a poster or a leaflet, an information tabloid. Okay, in a hard copy, you get a paper. There you would see the number of cases. Okay, the most common thing that would they would actually publish during the 18th, 19th century was theft cases, okay, murder, robbery, cheating cases. Okay, so these were the news during that time that was like so popular. Okay, so each time you flip a page, you would see London breakout. Okay, theft in New York. Okay, New York is in USA. Okay, but theft in like what Buckingham Palace. Someone robbed Queen Elizabeth's tiara. Okay, so these kind of news, very common news. They didn't have columns or sections for health or maybe like you know how you play all this Sudoku, okay, comics. They didn't have all that because it was new. Newspaper was new and they did not know what to publish. So only thing that they published was crimes. Okay. So this prime minister during that time, his name is Sir Robert Peel. If you guys can see, that is his actual picture over there. Okay, so after he became the prime minister, he was thinking, how am I going to solve this situation? So he came up with the idea of creating a police force, which is called the Metropolitan Police Force, the first one in London. Okay, it was official. So there they created a group of policemen. So who is this group of policemen? Definitely they would need some qualities, right? So what are the qualities that they saw? What are the requirements for you to become a policeman during the 18th and 19th century? Okay, so let's look at it even deeper. Okay, so if you look at the picture there, that is Tom Smith. His real or his actual official name is Thomas Smith. He is actually an early member of the police force. Okay, so you can see that he's the first, okay, in a cohort of policemen, the first cohort that they actually announced. He's one of the main guys. So he has been portrayed here as one of the role models, okay, for policemen during the 18th and 19th century. Okay, so let's look at the qualities, or maybe how they dress, how they speak, okay, how are their behavior during the 18th, 19th century as a policeman. Okay, all right, so let's take a good close look there. Do you see nicknames? Okay, you see nicknames like Bobbies, okay, you see nicknames like Bobbies, you see nicknames like Peelers. The reason why they call them Peelers is because it's after Sir Robert Peel. So Sir Robert Peel is the Prime Minister, right? So it's like a teasing or insult to the policeman. Hey, look at Peeler. That means, hey, look at the Prime Minister's Okay, all right. So fill in the blanks. Okay, so that is how they actually label. Do we even have the rights to label our policemen in Malaysia? We don't dare, right? Maybe behind the curtains, but not in front of them. But here they do it in front of them. If a policeman is just walking, hey, pillar, hey, bobbies, that's how they call them. Okay, so they got no respect actually. Okay, and then let's go to the next one. So they were only 3,000. In Malaysia, you have like how many thousand of? There's so much, Okay, but during that time, to take care of London, London is so big. Okay, to take care of London, there were only 3,000 policemen, and all the 3,000 policemen, they were not given proper training. They all went to military, yes. So they only had a basic level of military. We know what happens in military, right? Gunfight, bombing. Can you use that in a uh, normal environment where people are living? No, right? So that is the reason why they don't have training. And guess what? The salary that they receive is 95 pounds a week. Okay. Do you guys know what is 95 pounds in Malaysia? So in Malaysia, it is 400. Okay, it is 400. So in a week, they would receive 400. 400 for us a week is a big money. But imagine in Britain, 95 pounds is very little, guys. It is an exact cash of only 95 ringgit a week in Malaysia. That's the value of it. Okay, so they were only living in 95 pounds for a week, like 95 ringgit. What is 95 ringgit during these days for a week? You think you can survive? One person, yes, but for the whole family, clothes, education, whatever, rental, and maybe the car that they drive, the bicycle that they are cycling. Imagine 95 pounds is not enough at all. Okay, all right, so we move on. Okay, and most of them were fired. Why fired? Because they were drunkards. Okay, they don't have basic training, they don't know how to actually react or even behave like a policeman. So who would keep them? No one would keep them. Okay, so that's how they actually get fired. All right, so let's move on to another section. Now, this is actually a poster, it's a cartoon, the political drama number 11. You can find this cartoon in page 123, but I will enlarge it, go boxes so that you can see it clearly. All right, so we'll move on. to another picture. We'll enlarge it and then we'll see what they are actually talking about. Alright, as locals like you and me, we are just citizens of Malaysia, right? We don't hold a political position, okay? We don't have any political background. We don't have any job in the cabinet or in the ministry. Okay, so we are normal people, but we have views, right? We have a view when how a political person should be, how should they dress, should they speak, how should they help the poor people. We all have views, we all have our thoughts, correct? So this is the thought that they had towards the policeman, like people like us, the local people, okay? A commoner, we are all known as a commoner, okay? We commoners, we felt during the 18th century that when we look at a policeman, we feel, what is this guy like this? He has a big stomach, okay? A fat thighs, and he just whistles. That's the only thing he does. He doesn't actually go after the thief. He doesn't actually solve a crime. So what is this all about? So what one of the reporters did is that he published a cartoon. So this is a cartoon. You can find the cartoon in your book. It's on page 123. Okay, it's quite tiny right over there. So it is actually titled, the title of this cartoon is The Political Drama Number 11. Okay, as years go by and they start actually producing newspapers, okay, so they would actually come up with numbers just to keep track, okay. So the number 11, you don't have to worry about it, okay. Now let's look in deep. So this is the cutting, okay, that I have enlarged. So if you look at the cutting there, if you go through each and every dialogue, you would come across that they are not actually satisfied with what they are actually doing. The policemen itself. Okay, some of them are telling, I rather just sweep. Okay, I just sweep the street. Some of them are saying, just kill me. Okay, I rather do anything. And then the other one is saying, okay, I'm a policeman and I'll do anything for money. That means he takes bribery. Okay, and then the other guy is saying, I've had a regular attack of influenza. Okay. So, mentally, physically, emotionally, okay, they are not stable. They are not stable at all. So, this is what the publisher of the news report says about policemen during that time. Okay. If you want to know more about each and every personality, okay, please read all the boxes that are given to you. Then you'll have maybe a clue or an idea of how the policeman's personality are. You have learned personality in English. Okay, they are confident, determined, they are brave, open-minded. Okay, so what are the negative side that you will see in this type of policeman? So please go through, take some time and go through each and every boxes over there. Alright guys, so we have come to the end of the subtopic. Alright, so this is activity 2 for you. Just now you did activity 1 where you listed a few qualities of a policeman that you think should have, correct? Now this is activity 2. So you look again at source B. Okay, source B is the cartoon that was published. Okay, go through it, go through the content of it. Okay, you read again the content of the poster. Take about 5 to 10 minutes to read each and every boxes over there. Okay, and then work in your respective group. Okay, the group that I'm mentioning here is your English group. So just stick to it and use that group to work on this activity. Okay, and then list 5 problems that you notice in the poster. Meaning to say, when I'm asking about 5 problems, what are the problems that policemen are facing? Okay, they're untrained, correct? They're untrained, they don't know what is policeman's job anyway. So what are the problems that, okay, put yourself in a policeman during the 18th century. Okay, suddenly you're called, you're a commoner, you're a normal person. You're called, okay, tomorrow onwards, you're the policeman. You're like, what? Okay, so there would be a problem in you. Definitely, you'll be a problem. You'll be thinking, okay, can I do this? Are you sure? Can I do this? I have this. pain in my hand, I have a heart attack, am not confident, I'm very skinny, I'm very fat. Okay, so list 5 problems and then list another 5 solutions. So if you think weight is a problem, you give one solution for the weight. Okay, so that's how I given to you in a table. Okay, you draw this table in a piece of paper or your book. The political drama in bracket, police force in Britain during the 18th and 19th century. 2 columns for you, one is problem and one is solution. Okay, so you copy this down and then you start working in a group. So now activity 3, I've not mentioned in this video. Okay, activity 3 is where you have to come up with a mind map. Okay, it can be your choice how you want to do it. Okay, you want to do a fish map, bubble map, what else? Bubble map, fish map, spider map, up to you. Okay, but that is activity 3. So activity 1 is about the qualities. Activity 2, problem and solution. And activity 3 is your individual. Okay, so activity 3 is your mind map. So activity 1 and 3 individual. Activity 2 is group. You guys understand? Okay. Alright, so see you later. Thank you very much.